Welcome to Aligned Christ-Centered Yoga. My name is Linda, and I am so happy to be guiding your practice today. My question for you today is, where are you supposed to be? I'm a gardener, and so in the spring, I spend a lot of time moving plants from one bed to another. Last year, I had zinnias, and so the zinnias will replant themselves, and they plant wherever the wind takes them. So I have this thriving 10-inch zinnia plant that is absolutely beautiful, but it is under the edge of a bush. And there is no way it can grow into what it's supposed to be there, right? But it's still beautiful. And I have vinca that replant themselves. And so I have dozens of vinca in one area. And I need to thin them out and to move them into another place where they can really shine, right? I think often we are thriving and we are doing really well, but we are in the wrong place. As I was reading Genesis and through the genealogy of Abram, something really caught my eye. So let me just read to you for a moment from Genesis 11. Terah, Abram's father. Terah took his son Abram, his grandson Lot, son of Haran, and his daughter-in-law Sarai, the wife of his son Abram. And together they set out from Ur to the Chaldeans to go to Canaan. But when they came to Haran, they settled there. So Abram's father was called to go to Canaan. Let's pick this up in the next chapter, in chapter 12. And Abram is called by the Lord 75 years later to go to Canaan, where his father had never gone. So Abram went, as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he set out from Haran, and he took his wife Sarah and his nephew Lot and all the possessions they had accumulated and the people they had acquired in Haran, and they set out for the land of Canaan, and they arrived there. Abraham had lived in the wrong place long enough to accumulate all the things. He had tremendous wealth when God said, "Hey, let's go to Canaan. Let's go to where I called your father." But your father got kind of complacent and stuck and stayed. So, wherever you are in life, are you where you're supposed to be? Or are you in a place that is comfortable? Have you gotten a little bit complacent? Is there somewhere else that God is calling you? Come to a blanket today, if you have one, maybe a stack of towels, something soft that you can just elevate your hips up a bit. As you find that seated position, find your sitting bones, stacking your shoulders over your hips, jaw parallel to the floor, crown of the head rising high. Find your breath. Closing your eyes, begin to let go of the space around you. Draw your attention inward. Notice the feel of the mat underneath your hips and your legs. Where are you supposed to be right now? Maybe we're talking about a physical place. Maybe we're talking about a relationship. Maybe we're talking about a job. Can you let go of everything around you and open yourself up to wherever it is that God wants to take you? Let go of any anxiety, of any fear, of any need to control. Breathe a little more deeply, inviting the Holy Spirit to guide you in your practice today. Inhale down the body from collarbone all the way down to the pelvic floor. Exhale up. Breathe a little wider, a little more three-dimensionally. Today's flow will be a gentle back release. So let's start by just exploring what's going on in the back today. So hands lightly on your legs, maybe the eyes are still closed. Can you circle just the rib cage? Notice where the body glides, where it feels a little stuck. Begin to add a little bit more movement of the body, rocking forward and back, side to side on the hips, just drawing a big circle. And as you're ready, begin to draw the body all the way over to the sides, forward and back. Let the head and the shoulders join into the movement. As you're ready, come back and meet me at center. Remember which direction you were going in. And can you reverse that direction? Again, just starting with a small rib circle, checking in. Gradually adding in a little bit more movement. Bringing in the shoulders, the head. How are the sensations different on this side, moving in this direction? As you're ready, come back and meet me at center. Taking a deep breath in, draw the arms up and overhead, draw the gaze up, exhale, bring the hands down, bowing your head. Begin to release through the upper back, opening up across the chest as the arms rise, really finding length in the spine as you tuck your chin. 2 more breaths here. As you're ready, bring the arms out to the side, reach wide, wall to wall. As you exhale, draw the belly in, find a seated cat. Inhaling, palms facing the back, seated cow. Back and forth here, cat to cow. One more time like this. And as you're ready, go ahead and find that seated cat. Interlace the finger, backs of the hands towards me. Gently draw that right shoulder a little bit forward and up. Soften the arms. Draw the gaze underneath that right arm. Can you find stretch in your upper back on the right side? Interlace the fingers, arms rise high, exhaling. Hands come down behind you. Find that seated cow again. And release. Interlacing the fingers, go the other direction. So the other hand is on top now. Find your cat. This time the left shoulder comes forward. Left arm lifts up. Soften the arms a bit. Draw the gaze underneath. Let the head grow heavy. Can you find breath here? Interlacing the fingers, palms come forward, rise high. Exhaling, hands come down behind. One more back bend here in seated cow. And release. Go ahead and move that blanket out from underneath you. Go ahead and bring your legs into a pinwheel. Let's bring that right leg in front, left leg behind. Flex your feet, 90-degree angles at the knees. Go ahead and take that left hand to your hip and begin to rock your back hip forward. So to kind of just create the space, I have my front shin parallel with the edge of the mat. Use the hips to lift and lower. And then keep the movement of the hips, but take the hands behind you and just imagine that you're drawing a line in the sand from your fingers to your toes. Again, checking in, noticing where the body feels tight, where this feels really good. The arms come up and across, back and forth here. And look opposite the movement of the arms. So we're adding a gentle twisting motion into this. And then if you choose to, maybe you stay here. Maybe that other hand, that right hand comes behind you and you sweep up and lift and release. And 2 more times here. And this last time, can you just stay up? And open up across the front of the body and maybe draw the hips up and forward just a little bit more. Let the top shoulder relax a little bit. And then sweep that arm all the way around and release. Bring the hands to just behind the knee and begin to rock back and forth here. And then let the head come down, head, shoulders, hips. Continuing to warm up the muscles of the back. And then as you're ready, just bring the body over your leg. So center it over the leg. And if you have blocks, maybe you can support your head on a block. Maybe you don't need that, and you can support your head on your hands on the floor. As you're ready, press into your hands and rise up. And switch sides. So my left leg is now, my shin is parallel to the front edge of my mat. My feet are flexed, and I'm lifting and lowering my right hip. Is the sensation the same on this side, or do you feel it differently? No right or wrong. It is what it is. Take that right hand back, sweep it over to the other fingers, back to the toes. 2 more times here. Bring the arm up, parallel to the floor. Palm down as you come over towards your hand, up as you go back. The hips are still moving. And then if you choose to, pressing into that back hand, sweeping all the way up and release. 2 more times. And this last time, your option is to stay up there. Again, just gliding the shoulder blades down the side of the body, engaging through the abdominals, opening up across the chest. And then that arm sweeps all the way out and down. And hands to either side of that leg in front of you, just behind the knee. Begin to rock back and forth here. So my hips are still rocking. Go ahead and add the head to it. Head and shoulders all the way back. And as you're ready, just bring the leg down. Again, just center the body over the leg. Maybe use a prop. And come forward, head supported. Take another 2 breaths here. Pressing into the hands, rise up. Go ahead and bring that right leg out to the side. Press your left foot into the thigh and create a little bit of traction here. Really engage the muscles of this right leg. So tighten up through the calf muscle, the hamstrings, the quadriceps. Exhale forward and come back. Trust your body. Go as far as you should go. No pain, maybe a little bit of tension. And as you're ready, just move forward, settle into wherever it is that you're supposed to be, and get comfortable there. So maybe your hands are supporting you, right? Maybe your hands are holding onto your feet if you're a little more flexible. When we think about all of the issues in our back muscles, they are often connected to other muscles of the body as well. So if we have very tight hamstrings, maybe that pulls a little bit on the hips, and that in turn makes the back a little bit wonky and cranky. So tension but not struggle. And as you're ready, just bring your hands up and release. And switch sides. Same thing on this side. Start by making the move strong. So the foot presses into the leg presses into the foot. This, my left leg is very active right now. As I move forward, I'm just considering all of the different places that I feel the stretch. And next time you come forward, stay there. Can you use the breath to release the tightness of the muscle? Maybe you can just imagine that muscle letting go as you exhale. As you're ready, release. Use those hands to support you as you come up. And crossing your legs, come up and over. Meet me in table. And bring your blocks to the front edge of the mat if you haven't already done that. So fingers are spread wide, knees are underneath hips, feet are hidden. Begin to circle the rib cage here. So again, start with just the rib cage. And then begin to add some movement of the hips in, some movement of the shoulders, the head. So this is essentially the same movement that you were doing seated. How is it different? As you're ready, come to center. Bring the hands slightly forward, draw back to child's pose, and stay there for 2 breaths. Can you breathe into the back of the body? As you're ready, come back up. Fingers spread wide. Begin to circle the rib cage the other direction. Begin to add the movement of the hips and the shoulders and the head. And as you're ready, meet me at center. This time, go ahead, if you have one, bring a block. Bring it in front of your knees, about one hand print. Take a nice deep breath in, rise up into a kneeling mountain. Exhale, backs of the hands to the small of the back, draw the hips back, and find a child's pose, but support your head and turn your cheek. Take a deep breath in, rise up, and of course you can move that block and you can make it taller or shorter. And turn your cheek the other way. And 2 more times here, moving each direction. So listen to your body. Your body will tell you what your range of motion should be. Tension and struggle, never pain. No struggle, no pain. A little tension is okay. As you're ready, rise up and meet me back in table. Move the block out of the way and bring the hands forward. Find a kneeling plank. So engaging through the abdominals, find as much length as you can from the pelvic floor to the collarbone. Nice strong abdominals. As you come down, bend the elbows, draw them towards the ceiling and in towards each other. Come down to the mat. Forearm on the mat. Hands spread wide. Inhale up. Exhale down. Back and forth here a few times. So next time you come up into Sphinx, stay there. Begin to activate it. Press through the tops of the feet. Tighten up the muscles in the legs, the abdominals. Let the shoulder blades glide down the back. And as you're ready, exhale down. Bring the hands back to the rib cage and come back to child. So go through this twice more on your own. Kneeling plank to the mat. Sphinx to child, connecting the pace to your breath. One more time. Kneeling plank to the mat. Sphinx to child. Stay here in child for 2 breaths. As you're ready, rise up to kneeling mountain. Hands come to the sky. Bring the palms together, hands to heart. Bring that right leg forward, hands to either side of the foot, or using props, straighten out that back leg and begin to lift and lower the back leg. Opening up now through the front of the hip, that psoas muscle. Maybe 2 more times here. Front foot stays flat on the mat, front knee right over that ankle. And as you're ready, just let that back knee come down to the mat, top of the foot to the mat. And if you need to put padding underneath it, you can use that blanket. Take a nice deep breath in, arms rise. Exhale, cactus arms as you find a back bend. Inhale up, hands to heart as you lean a little bit forward. Sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, cactus into the back bend. Arms rise up, hands to prayer as you come forward. One more time. As you're ready, hands to either side of the leg. Go ahead and press into that left hand. Sweep that right arm all the way up. Find a gentle twist here. And maybe that arm stays up and reaching to the sky, or maybe it comes to kind of support that lower back. And how does that change the twist? As you're ready, release. Hands to either side of that foot. Raise the back knee up. Bring the front foot to the back. Meet me in a full plank. 2 breaths here. And then as you're ready, come back down to your knees and to the mat. Find Sphinx pose. Exhale down. Bring the hands to the rib cage. Notice that the shoulders may start to crunch up towards the ears. Press those shoulders back and down. And then with the hands just very lightly on the mat, can you draw the rib cage forward and up, finding a low cobra. Again, activating the legs, resting on maybe my bottom 2 ribs. Find as much length as you can in the lower back. And then as you're ready, come up through table to child. Taking a deep breath in, rise up onto those knees again. Hands to heart. Go ahead and bring that left leg forward. Find balance as the hands come down to either side of the foot. Again, maybe using blocks. Curl the toes under in the back. Lift and lower the back leg. Back and forth here. And as you're ready, that back leg lifts up towards the sky, sink into the front hip. Stay here for a moment and then just gently bring that back knee down, but can you maintain that stretch in the hip? Top of the foot to the floor, deep breath in, rise up. Bring the hands to cactus, find your back bend. Arms rise, hands to heart. Lean a little bit forward, finding a little bit more stretch in the psoas. Inhale up, back bend. Inhale, hands to heart, come forward. One more time. And as you're ready, hands come down to the side. So moving the blocks out of the way again. That right hand comes to the inside of the leg. That left arm sweeps up. Breathe into it. And again, maybe that hand comes to the small of the back. And as you support the back, maybe you find the twist in a new way. Can you keep a little weight at the base of the big toe? As you're ready, release. The arm rises, unwind, curl the toes under, bring the front foot to the back. Find your plank. Come down to the mat. Maybe you come down in that straight leg plank. Maybe you bring your knees down. Find your low cobra. And exhale your way back to child. Inhaling, meet me in table. Big toes together. Go ahead and take the knees out wide. Bring the hands forward. Begin to gently drop the rib cage down, keeping the hips above the knees. Just think about a baby in a crib. Their butt up in the air. And let your head come down. Notice where you're tight. Direct breath into those spaces. As you're ready, inhaling, press into your hands and come back up. Bring the knees in one at a time. Curl the toes under and recreate that release in the back as you bring your rib cage to your thighs and find your downward facing dog. And shake your head out, no. Shake your head out, yes. Engaging through the abdominals, begin to pedal through your feet. Move your hips side to side. On the next inhale, heels rise. On the next exhale, let those heels come down towards the mat. So my feet are still hip width apart. My fingers are reaching forward directly in front of the shoulders. Rib cage drawing towards the thigh, hips reaching towards where the ceiling meets the wall behind me. On the next inhale, right leg rises high. Gaze comes forward, foot comes all the way through. Bring the back foot to warrior one. So angle it towards the outside edge of the mat, hips draw forward, reach the arms all the way up, and find your warrior. Right hand to the small of the back, left arm across that leg, find a high twist here, creating a little traction with the arm against the leg. Again, my hand is supporting that lower back. Breathe in, breathe out. On the next inhale, rise up to center. Bring the arms out to the side. Straighten out the front leg and bring the palms across your waist. My arms are crossed. Lunge forward, elbows stay in at the side, arms come out. Exhale, come up. So just in and out a few times here. Can you keep those hips moving forward as if they were between two rails? How steady are your hips? As you're ready, stay here. Lunge forward, bring the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Bring the back foot up to meet the front. Feet are hip width apart. Take a deep breath in, arms rise high. Exhale, hands down to your side. Inhale, bend the arms forward. Keeping the upper arms in, exhale the arms out. Inhale, hands to heart. Next inhale, just rise up. Find your back bend. Stay there, deep breath in. Arms come all the way down, all the way up. Exhaling. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Shake your head out, no. Shake your head out, yes. Let the back of your head come down towards the mat. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale down. One leg back and then the other. Find your plank. And from plank, come down to the mat. Find your low cobra. And come back to child. So stay in child for 3 breaths. On the next inhale, press into your hands and rise up. Meet me in downward facing dog. And checking in, just notice what's going on in your downward facing dog. What feels the same, what feels different. Go ahead and raise that left leg up high. Draw the gaze forward, bring the foot all the way through the hands. Back foot to warrior one. Little toe touching the outside edge of the mat. Foot angled forward. Front knee right over that ankle as you rise into your warrior. Left hand to the small of the back. Right arm reaches across. Find your twist. Settle into your twist. As you're ready, release. Arms rise high. Stay here, hands to heart. Bring the hands out to the side. Straighten out the front leg, cross those arms across the waist. Inhale forward, exhale back. Can you keep those upper arms attached? And again, really just working on stabilizing the hips, aligning the body. Imagine the hips riding between two rails, forward and back. Next time you come forward, stay there. Sweep the arms all the way up. Find a back bend. Hands to heart. Bring the back foot up to meet the front. My feet are still hip width apart, finding mountain pose. Arms come down to the side. Inhale, bending at the elbow. Forearms parallel to the floor. Exhale, upper arms stay in. Hands come to the outside. Inhale, hands to heart, stay here. Find your back bend, thumbs lightly pressing into the sternum. Bring the arms all the way up. Take them wide. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, come up halfway. Exhale down, one leg back and then the other. Find your plank. And again, from plank, come down to the mat. Find your low cobra or your back bend. Meet me back in child for 2 breaths. And that next inhale, rise into downward facing dog. Stay in downward facing dog for another 3 breaths. Again, just checking in, noticing. Where did your body feel a little longer, a little more release? Where is this hard for you? Can you use your breath to find release? The next inhale, right leg rises high, gaze comes forward, foot comes through the hands. Meet me as you rise into warrior 1. Go ahead and straighten out that front leg, right hand to thigh. Exhale, reach as far forward as you can, and then just bring the hand down to the mat and inhale up. So that front leg is going to bend as you come forward as much as you need it to. Some of you may be able to keep it straight the entire time. Can you keep the hips steady and traveling forward? So the hips are stable. One more time here. Go ahead and release. That other arm comes up, front leg, the lunges, knee over ankle, hands behind the back. Go ahead and press into the back and find your back bend. Stay here. Then release, arms come up, hands to heart, back foot comes up to meet the front. Deep breath in, arms rise high, feet parallel to each other. Exhale, hands come down. Inhaling, forearms come front. Exhaling, hands to the side. Inhale, hands to heart. Stay here. Next breath in, find your back bend. Let those arms come down and then up, take them wide. Next exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, come up halfway. Exhale down, one leg back and then the other. Meet me in plank. And from plank, however you choose to do it, come down to the mat, find your back bend of choice. Meet me back in child for 2 breaths. Join me in downward facing dog and check in again. Engaging the muscles of the legs, reaching the hips back and up. Let that left leg rise to the sky. Gaze comes forward, foot comes all the way through, back foot shifts to warrior one, arms rise high. Straightening out that front leg, left hand to thigh, come all the way forward and down, and rise up. So just continue here a few more times. And as you're ready, the other arm comes up, lunge forward, hands to heart. Take your hands to the small of your back again, finding the back bend, lengthening through the lower back, softening the rib cage, letting the shoulder blades glide down the sides of the body. One more breath here. Arms rise high. Hands to heart. Back foot comes up, mountain pose. Inhale all the way up. Exhale the hands down to your side. Inhaling, bending at the elbows. Exhaling, hands come wide. Inhaling, hands to heart. Stay here. Pressing the thumbs into the sternum. Breathe your way into your back bend. As you find it, let the arms come down and then up. Exhaling, find your forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Back of the head reaches down towards the mat. Hands to shins, come up halfway. Exhale down, one leg back and then the other. Meet me in plank. And from plank, knees to the mat, child to table 3 times. As you come into that final child, stay there. Begin to massage out your forehead. Let your forearms grow heavy into the mat. How much length can you find in your spine? Where are you supposed to be right now? Where does God want you to be? As you're ready, press into your hands and rise up. Bring your feet in front of you. Take your feet just a little bit wide, hands behind you for support, and just gently lower body twist, dropping knees side to side. As you're ready, next time the knees go over to the right, stay there. Explore what's going on in the hips, find a tight place, and come up beside that zigzagging circle, wherever it needs to be. And then go the other direction. So same thing here, just explore it all the way around, and then wherever that tight place is, or maybe the tightest place, find that. Side to side again. Sitting up, take your hands underneath your legs lightly. Exhaling, find a seated cat. Inhale, seated cow. And 2 more times here. And as you're ready, meet me at center. So go ahead and bring your back down to the floor. Bring a block with you, keeping the block close to your hip. Come onto your back. Go ahead and bring your block if you have one. If you don't, no worries. But if you have one, just bring it in the small width way in between your legs. So it's just below my knees there. Bring the hands all the way up to the ceiling. Let the shoulders thump down so shoulder blades are flat to the mat. Do that another couple times. Just looking for a really heavy, natural position of the shoulders. Bring the hands down to your hips. So with a very light grip on your hands, on your block, gently come up 1 vertebra at a time. So you're not squeezing your inner thighs, really just keeping that block there as a placeholder. And then just very gently, can you come down 1 vertebra at a time? Where does your back feel a little stuck? Where does it feel like you are lifting up in a big clump? Just imagine your spine as a strand of pearls. And you're just bringing it down 1 pearl at a time, bringing it up 1 pearl at a time. And those places where it feels a little stuck, go a little more slowly. 1 more time up, but this time stay up. Begin to really find the work in the pose. So do the heavy lifting from the tops of the thighs. Imagine the heels reaching in towards the hands reaching towards the heels. Press down with your feet and your shoulder blades and lift up with your hips. On that next exhale, just come down 1 vertebra at a time. Settle when you land, stay there, and check in. What's going on in your spine today, in the muscles of the lower, middle, and upper back? How are you connected to the mat? Gently bring that block underneath you. So you're going to lift up just enough that that block comes underneath the small of your back. Settle here. So the sacrum bone, that bone that is above the tailbone and below the spine, is heavy on the block. Can you stay connected with the feet at the base of the big toe, the little toe, and the heel? Can you feel your breath moving through your body? Begin to let the body soften. All of the weight in that block. Stay here for 3 more breaths. As you're ready, press into your feet. Raise your hips up just a bit. Move the block to the side. And let your body come back down to the mat. Settle there for a moment. Just notice the curves of the spine. Hands to knees. Bring the knees in. And feet and knees together. Can you just draw a circle in the ceiling? So you're just massaging out all the way around that sacrum bone. And in the same way that you did with the hips, as you explore, maybe take a little longer. If there's a tight place, come up beside it. Massage it out. As you're ready, go the other direction. Does shifting direction change anything? Meeting me at center, gently draw the knees into the rib cage and away, back and forth here. And as you're ready, bring one foot down and then the other. Extend your legs long. Maybe thump those shoulders a couple more times. And let the hands come down to the hips. Gently bring the palms up, turning your head. Draw from the top of one ear up and over to the top of the other a few times. And as you're ready, stay here. Begin to connect with your breath and notice the way that the body has settled into the mat. Close your eyes, soften your focus. While you enter into Shavasana today, I'm going to read to you from Come Away, My Beloved, written by Francis Roberts. From John chapter 9, if anyone is a worshiper of God and does his will, he hears him. Written as if from God to you. My will is not a place, but a condition. Do not ask me where and when, but ask me how. You will discover blessing in every place and in any place if your spirit is in tune with me. No place or time is more hallowed than another when you are truly in love with me. I direct every motion of your life as the ocean bears a ship. Your will and intelligence may be at the helm, But divine providence and sovereignty are stronger forces. You can trust me, knowing that any pressure I bring to bear upon your life is initiated by my love, and I will not do even this except as you are willing and desire. Many a ship has sailed from port to port with no interference from me, because strong will has been at the wheel. Multitudes of pleasure cruises go merrily on their ways, untouched by the power of my hand. But you have put your life into my keeping. And because you are depending on me for guidance and direction, I shall give it. Move on steadily. And know that the waters that carry you are the waters of my love and my kindness. And I will keep you on the right course. Gently bring yourself back to this time and this space. Notice the way the body is settled onto the mat. Reconnect with your breath. Gently bring movement back. Wiggle fingers and toes, rotate wrists and ankles, turn your head side to side. On that next inhale, bring the arms up and overhead and just stretch as long as you can. And as you're ready, draw your knees in and roll over onto your side, supporting your head with one arm. And stay there for 3 breaths. As you're ready, come up to a sitting position. Find your sitting bones. Eyes still closed. Check in one final time. Body, mind, and soul. And the next inhale, draw arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands in prayer, hands to heart. Bowing your head, joining me in prayer. Holy God, we surrender to your love, to your majesty. And we ask that if we are in the wrong place in any area of our life, that you uproot us. Uproot us with the gentleness of the gardener, protecting us, preparing the soil for which we are called to, gently placing us into the new space that you have for us, nourishing us so that we will thrive. We thank you that our lives are never static. We thank you that you are always moving us, changing us, challenging us, and growing us. It is in the name of Jesus, the Christ, that we pray. Amen. Thank you for joining me today.